Welcome back. It's been a couple months off. We're back at school. The podcast is back. We got some exciting news as well. But as the podcast is back, you know who's back? My co-host Amere. What's going on?
What's going on? It's been a while, and you know what? It's good to be back in the studio. You know, it took a long break over the summer. You know, been a long time since seeing each other in May. So yeah.
Last time we saw each other, we were at the late May. It was the
Golden
podcast
Quills. Yep.
Golden Quill Award. No, it was Journalism Awards. Golden Quill. What we lose to, like dirt bike thing or something?
Yeah, it was like a 14-minute podcast about dirt bikes. I mean,
yeah.
Power to them.
I guess actual journalism. We just go in here and
Ramble.
talk Steelers.
Opinions.
They must have like interviewed a guy on actual dirt bike information.
Right.
But what we got going here is, you know, we got the. So we're gonna have a new little schedule going on here for podcasts. At least for the first month here, September or late August, most of September, we're gonna get one out Friday morning and Monday morning. And we're gonna alternate the Monday mornings. We're also gonna be joining YouTube, trying to expand the fan base. You know, I see a good bit of stuff going on YouTube where our people are, I don't know, getting more views on YouTube. I think video aspects are more enticing than just audio on Spotify. You know, podcasts are a little crowded, so we're gonna be trying to pull some more people on YouTube. Maybe that can be your preferred way of watching. We will see. We're gonna try and stay consistent. Once October rolls around, we're gonna try and get episode out Wednesday morning, an episode Friday morning, and an episode Monday morning. Covers all the bases. On those Monday, Friday episodes, it's just going to be one of us and talking about whether if it's game recap or previews going into the game or just whatever narrative that the Steelers are going on with, you know, who's injured, who's traded, blah, blah, blah. You know, we'll see what goes on. I think it's going to, you know, make this podcast a little more exciting. I agree. Having more than one episode a week is going to pull more people in. And, you know, maybe we can have a bigger fan base.
Then
maybe
more guests.
We can pull up to more guests, go to the draft, you know, get some coverage on that.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we'll see.
Apply for media passes. You
Exactly.
know, you never know. You never know.
We're going to try and grow the brand. We'll see how that goes.
I mean, and even heading down that road, we can even do it live if we want to. A live episode of, you know, the What is Steelers podcast. So that's something to discuss down the
YouTube
road.
Live? Oh,
yeah, man. It's a thing, but
we'll see what
that's something down the road.
We'll see what kind of cameras we're working with here. But we're going to stop talking about the, you know, information about the podcast, new news. We're going to get right into the Steelers here. You know, 53-man roster cuts were, what was it, Tuesday, 4 p.m.?
I think so, yeah.
And we've seen some names get cut. The Marvin Leal.
I was surprised.
I wasn't surprised.
I was just surprised in a way that
people are mad that Connor Hayward's still on the roster.
Did you see his tweets? Dude, he's firing back at people. He's like, yeah.
He's a special teams contributor, so I don't have too many complaints. I figured he'd stay on the roster.
Yeah.
Anyways, held 4 quarterbacks. Obviously,
Bobby Woods, he's gone.
Yep. Obviously, things have changed. We cut Mark Robinson, James Pierre, Beanie Bishop, fan favorite.
I was not happy about that. I thought Beanie was solid for the most part last year. When he was good, he was good, but when he was bad, he was not. He was bad, just to say the least.
But practice squad came out.
Right. I just hope he doesn't get signed off of it. That's all.
They can protect a couple players on there. He's probably one of them. If one of our slot guys go down. But practice squad, we pretty much brought back every big cut. Mm-hmm. Leal, James Pierre, Beanie Bishop.
Trey Sermon,
Luke Nichols.
Max Roman, and Robert Woods. Robert Woods is on the practice squad.
I would say I'm content with the roster cuts. Also, after the first initial 53, they moved Dante Kent and Will Howard to IR, and they brought back Chuck Clark and Max Sharping.
Old Raven guy, right? Chuck Clark.
Yep. So
sounded familiar.
Originally they were carrying 3 safeties. Now they're carrying 4 after those few moves. But I
don't hate this roster.
I like the roster.
Me too. I mean, on paper, it may look it'll look pretty good, but it's interesting to see how they'll execute this year. Like, especially on the defensive side of the ball, I want to see a lot of the younger guys eat. I want to see the young guys eat. If that's
I don't know if there's many young guys to eat, you know.
Derek Harmon, man, he better eat.
He's out for a couple weeks.
I know, but like once he comes back, he better eat. But
I'd say the youngest guys that'll be playing week 1 is probably JPJ, Peyton Wilson, and Keanu Benton.
Who I want to see get some time? Yaya Black.
YA Black.
I call Yaya sounds so much better, but yeah. YA, yeah.
No, he looked pretty good in the
preseason games.
He looked like a man out there against the third stringer.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That's good. That's good. Good to see. Let's see if he can do it against some first team players. But I think the big thing with the rosters, they kept 8 interior D linemen.
Yeah.
I think that is because obviously Derek Harmon. I heard Keanu Benton's dealing with some injuries. He could be questionable for week 1. That's why they're probably keeping all these guys. So week 1, we see Cam Hayward, which I feel like isn't even going to get that many snaps because he's been holding out a little bit.
The whole Cam Hayward thing has been a spectacle all summer because I interviewed Cam over the summer for my internship.
Oh, really?
So I interviewed Cam, Rucker McGurty, guy on the Penguins, some girl from Dance Moms, Christian Kuntz, and Duck Hodges at his like softball event. It was the craziest thing ever, but talking to Cam in that moment and that looking at like what he was doing on TV, I'm like, dang, bro, I'm not even gonna lie.
What'd you ask Cam Hayward?
I was just basically asking him about like, hey, this is your so and so year of hosting it with the Wild Things. What can you tell me about the partnership? Just
small stuff.
Stuff, yeah.
You weren't getting too crazy.
Not too crazy. It's just for a quote for the job, But
Duck Hodges,
Yeah, man.
How about that? Did you get any contact info from anybody, or like nah?
Nah, I had to be somewhat professional.
Imagine having Duck Hodges like email or something.
Dude, I know. I had to stay professional, somewhat.
That's
so
fair.
It's like I can't do all that, but
Duck Hodges, what do you have to say? Did you ask him like what's the retired life like?
Nah, I was just like,
hey.
No, I was like, you better hit a homer. You better hit a homer. He was like, I'll try, and then he popped up. I'm pretty sure. So that was
nice
fun.
Pop fly.
Yeah, but once we chatted after like we got it. We took a pic. He was like, let's just get it. I'm like, all right, cool. So I was like, all right.
Duck Hodges asking you.
He didn't know. He didn't ask me. I was like, pick. He was like, yeah, sure. I was like, okay. I was like, okay.
No, it was interesting. So you got Cam Hayward, then you got Duck Hodges, and then you had Christian Kuntz. Anything from him?
Hey, he was the MVP in my book. He had
of the baseball game.
Yeah, 2 home runs. Not gonna lie, I wanted to do Debo, James Harrison, but
He's
not gonna lie, in person he's even a little scary.
Yeah,
he was just mean mugging everybody. I'm like,
yeah, he's like that. Did you hear what he was doing whenever they signed Chris Boswell?
Wait, I think I might have seen something about it.
He would follow him around.
Make sure he doesn't miss, right?
He was like, you miss, you gotta wash my back in the shower.
Speaking of kickers, and he was a notable cut. I would say a notable cut.
Ben
Sauls almost killed me.
How?
I was at the preseason game.
Oh, the preseason game?
I was at the preseason game, and I was sitting like right behind the end zone, and he kicked the ball and it went over the net, and I wasn't paying attention. All I see was a football bounce off of the like railing and bounce onto the concourse. I'm like, I almost got killed by Ben Sauls.
You back running at Acrisure or?
Nah, I wish I did.
Wish you did.
I wish I did, but I wanted to do something different.
That's
at least for the upcoming year.
That was probably pretty cool getting being there. I guess in a sense for free at the the Steeler games. You're working, but
I was giving up my time, but time doing something I like.
Yeah, exactly.
Except watching Pitt football, they were kind of bad last year towards the end.
Yeah, well they kick off versus Duquesne here on Saturday.
They do, and RMU versus WVU. I'll be there. Taking pics on the sideline.
At WV?
Yeah, it is.
I heard WV is supposed to be bad, though, so... I mean, RMU's football is bad.
They're not good. So honestly, if they pull an upset, that's going to be crazy. An upset will be insane.
It definitely be pretty fun. I know some people to go to WV, so... bragging rights, even though I'm not... invested in any
exactly.
sport.
Actually, I think the only sport that's worth being invested in is basketball.
Basketball.
That's honestly me because I feel like both teams are set up to a point where they could make a run. Women's team.
Basketball,
Still up
soccer teams did pretty good last year.
Yeah. Actually, I think soccer will be pretty good this year. Men's soccer, women's soccer as well. So
We'll
should
see
be
on
interesting.
that. Back to the the Steelers here.
Yes, sir.
Get a little on an RMU tangent.
Happens.
Receiver room. All these rumors. Oh, they're going after
Jacoby Myers.
Alan Lazard, Jacoby Myers. This
Honestly,
guy, that guy. How are you feeling with the receiver room? I'm pretty content with it.
I mean, I'm content, but it doesn't mean I like it. I know this is probably the best we're gonna get, but
yeah.
I feel like I want a better 1, 2, 3. I don't mind DK, Calvin Austin, and Roman Olsen, but I just feel like a few of these players are the same guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like similar play style, Calvin Austin, Skoranek, and Scotty Miller. I feel like they all kind of have that like. I don't even want to say like inside slot guys, but they're just. That's just kind of how I feel like they can work in the middle, but I feel like DK is our only real deep threat.
Mm-hmm.
Besides Calvin Austin, who was notorious for doing that last year, but it's okay. I think it'll be able to win us some games, especially with Aaron Rodgers. I feel like, honestly, I might save this for my hot take, but that's where I'm going to end it.
I necessarily don't think it matters if the Steelers bring in another receiver because I don't think, obviously, you want like a DK Metcalf, depth or backup for that big number one. But if you're going to pick somebody up just in the idea of contributing with everyone healthy, I don't think anyone's going to really contribute to how much George Pickens would have if we had him still.
If he had Pickens, I would still have thought the same thing. I'm going to be completely honest with you.
You're not fine? You're fine with receiver room, or you're not fine? Or are you talking about if we had him in DK still?
Yeah, I'd still be a little.
I'd be perfectly fine with receiver.
No, all right. I'm just trying to explain it in a way that doesn't sound like I'm just against George Pickens. Because I kind of am. I'm gonna
turn into a George Pickens hater.
I
over
am.
The summer.
I am. I used to love him, but now it's like
Cowboy,
watching your favorite hero become the villain.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he's my hero, but
what I got to do? I wasn't successful in getting a new Steelers jersey. I'm gonna tape over Pickens and put Gainwell.
That's valid. But
I don't know if anyone's become number 18. I have a Deontay jersey. Will Howard. There you go.
Will Howard.
I
Hey,
have a Howard in a Gainwell jersey.
That's kind of sick. I'm not gonna lie. I'm
random.
gonna keep rambling about the whole George Pickens thing. I feel like if DK was the true number one, I feel like Pickens would still would have crashed down no matter what. He started doing a little temper tantrum.
Maybe, yeah,
I think that's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be like another Juju AB situation, not to that extent, but I feel like there would be some kind of element of that there.
How about George Pickens getting interviewed and he was like, "That's what I like about Dallas from other places. They're known for their Super Bowls, as they literally have less Super Bowls."
I think
than
he's
the
an
Steelers."
idiot. That's also
Pretty
another.
much.
That's also like another reason why I'm like, bro, you leave one of the not the most storied franchise in NFL history. Maybe besides, unfortunately, the Patriots. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, they're probably 1 and 2, Steelers, Patriots, and then maybe.
And after that, it's like Cowboys, Niners, stuff like
Packers.
that.
I mean, even Packers might get a run for number 2, but half of their championships came before the NFL.
Yeah, so they're not Super Bowl wins. The reason I'm fine with this receiver room is how many tight ends we have. Jonu's a little thick receiver.
Okay.
I think they're going to live in that 1, maximum 2 receiver personnel. I'm just curious if the plays are going to be successful and be able to get open enough.
Yeah.
To warrant that kind of personnel. What kind of personnel you're going to live in?
Okay, I'm just going to interject one time. I completely forgot to even factor in the tight ends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So with
That's
that,
honestly what that Jonu trade was like a proxy receiver too.
Okay, so now that you say it like that, I may just revert a little bit on that take, but just to hold up some credibility, I still think it's that. But tight end room, I think is going to be nice this year.
I think it could be worse.
Solid.
Look at the Jets receiver room. It goes Garrett Wilson.
Who's
and that's
number 1? Exactly.
It goes Garrett Wilson. That's it. At least with the Steelers, Calvin Austin had a decent year last year. We have all these tight ends.
Yep.
And, Steelers play Jets week 1. It'll be an interesting game. We'll preview that on our next one. But something did go down today. The Micah Parsons trade. I'm actually pretty happy for Micah Parsons.
Me too.
The Cowboys. He's no longer a Cowboy, so I can kind of root for, a good player.
Exactly.
Finally.
And you know what? That's going to mean the NFC East is going to be a cakewalk for the Eagles once again. Once
I
again.
think it was going to be anyways.
Yeah.
Or no. Commanders will be okay.
I'll be all right. I'll be all right.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to win the division, though, but they'll be all right.
Jameis Winston's going to lead the Giants to the Super Bowl?
No. But I'm not going to lie. I love him already. I've been seeing, clips of, the Giants, camp.
Him and
I
Dart.
Hey.
They should have traded Russ, kept DeVito, Dart, and Winston.
I'm not going to lie.
That'd have been the squad.
I think it would have. But that's how I'm feeling with, the Browns, where I'm like, what the hell are you guys doing? Excuse my language.
Traded Kenny 2 gloves.
Dude. I don't know. Super Bowl champion, Kenny 2 gloves.
Yeah, give me a break. Who also is a Super Bowl champion? Chris Oladokun, man. Same draft class.
2 times,
Super
right?
Bowl, 2 Super Bowl quarterbacks, man.
Actually, there's one thing I do want to bring up. So I was just looking.
You see a draft class chart from what's his face?
2022. No. Oh.
You seen Colbert's last 5 draft classes?
I have.
Pretty abysmal.
But it was not that one. It was of our 2022 draft.
Yeah.
Who are the 2 main guys out of that draft class who are still actually Steelers?
On the team? Isn't it Calvin Austin and it's a late round pick, I'm pretty sure.
Honestly, wait, I
have no idea.
Hold up.
I know you're talking about though. I've seen a chart. It's the Steelers' last few classes, and they've been
Connor Hayward and Calvin Austin.
yeah.
Oh my God. Looking back at this draft class, this could be one of the worst. Top 5 worst Steelers history. Recent history. Because once you get below the
Colbert's
70s,
last 5 have been pretty unremarkable. I've seen some graphic on Instagram somewhere.
I know what you're talking
find it
about
right now. But Micah Parsons to the Packers, I like that. He's getting paid $47 million a year.
Oh yeah, that's
highest paid non-QB in NFL. I expected that.
Yeah.
Good for him to get rid of the Cowboys. Jerry Jones seems more geriatric.
Dude,
Geriatric Jones,
he's not good at his job.
Yeah.
I think he ran out of shelf life.
He's paying Dak Prescott I don't even know, but
dude, he basically picked Dak over freaking Micah.
What's George Pickens thinking now? You know what I mean?
Right, he's like, oh man, look, not gonna go to a new team.
He's gonna sign somewhere else.
I'm not gonna
next year,
lie.
guaranteed.
Pickens is going to be one of those receivers who just travels along the league. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like those guys who can't stay in a certain place. They can't stay on the team though. Longevity level. So.
Now I'm not talking full season predictions here for the Steelers, but what are your hopes set at? We're gonna talk about record predictions next week. What's your hopes for the Steelers this season? What are we thinking?
I hope we can beat the allegations.
What are the allegations that we're
being mediocre?
Mediocre.
Well, I mean, we are mediocre, but I want to beat that, mediocre. I want us to actually go out and win games.
Mm-hmm.
Games that they should win.
I think if this line can keep it together and give Rodgers enough time, I'm kind of stealing that from Big Ben. But if they give him enough time,
I'm a bit upset.
That's still your hot take.
Part of it, but that was the premise of it.
Yeah. Now, I think the first team O-line has looked pretty decent in the preseason. Granted, I'm not sure what caliber of starters or players they're going against, but Broderick wasn't noticeable, so that's a good sign.
That's a good
Montanu,
thing.
same deal. The line actually was able to form a pocket. Some of them later in the games with the backup and third-string lines, not so much.
But yeah, we also signed Andrews Pete.
Andrews Pete, yeah, he made the 53.
Nice little veteran pickup there.
Old first-round pick from the Saints.
Yeah, well, he's 31, 32 now.
Guard tackle flexibility. But no, I feel hopeful with this team. Every year,
as you should be. Because
I don't know if I agree with that statement, but
no, I have a reason for that.
I'm an optimistic guy. If I were my dad, he'd say, "Ooh, you're losing."
Is he one of those typical Yinzers?
Tomlin.
Okay, I got you. I know all
he's
that.
tired of Tomlin.
Okay.
But yeah. I'm optimistic. I like the glass half full kind of guy. So, especially with football, if you're dreading the season, you're not going to enjoy watching the game. So why not get excited?
Exactly.
You're going to get your hopes let down. You're going to get start the fire Tomlin chance. But I think if this team loses round 1 of the playoffs this year, I think it's whenever
blow it up.
We need to make sure we have a big enough platform to start a fire Tomlin protest. I'd say if they lose the wild card game and it's like if it's a blowout, I think that's a here's
never gonna happen.
Here's the stipulations for a fire Tomlin protest. They clinch playoffs, but then they slowly die into the season like last year, and then they get freaking spanked in the wild card round.
Last year.
That's last couple of years.
I experienced it.
Last couple of years.
I won't be able to forget that.
That's what summons the fire Tomlin protest. But for now, I'm gonna stay hopeful. I think if Arthur Smith is allowed to call whatever plays he wants, and him and Rodgers get more aggressive, I think it's going to be entertaining enough. Because all the offense needs to do is keep the defense off the field for enough time for them to get some rest. Mm-hmm. And I think this team's going to be successful.
And that's also like another thing. Like the reason why I said as you should be for like being excited for the season. I don't know. I was not really happy going into camp. I wasn't happy going into like even the draft. I wasn't too like excited. Mm-hmm. But like now, I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's near, recent, a little bit of recency bias, I guess. But I just feel like this team they have something that they haven't had in a while, which was a somewhat competent quarterback. So I feel like if Rodgers can perform, do his thing, I think we'll be fine.
Rodgers can process the field.
Exactly.
Fields
better than
Wilson,
Kenny Pickett.
Well, Pickett's like bottom of the barrel.
Exactly.
Fields couldn't process. Russ, I don't think he processed that well. He couldn't see.
Exactly.
Probably
last year, he couldn't, especially when he fumbled that freaking ball against Baltimore.
Yikes.
That was terrible. But I don't know. I think Rodgers is probably going to be the difference maker on that offense, along with the offensive line. But I still don't want to get too much to the hot take yet. But
yeah, stop spoiling. I haven't said anything about mine yet.
I'm leading up just a little bit.
Now, this is our big question here. Are the Steelers, you think their roster is Super Bowl caliber? What are we thinking?
Dude, I'm not going to lie. I feel like it is a Super Bowl caliber roster, but they're not going to make it. I feel like any roster besides maybe like a select 5 or 6 are Super Bowl caliber,
I just think based on the defense alone, I'd say so, especially if they can stay healthy. Yeah. I think Juan Thornhill's going to surprise some people.
That's another guy I have my eye on. He's a less talked about safety, so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah.
And even I think the whole secondary might be something.
I think they're sleeping on the secondary. You got Ramsey.
I think they are.
Joey Porter Jr. and Darius Slay.
Yeah. I that trio right there is interesting.
I think Deshaun Elliott's like. He was one of the better defenders on the team last year, and there was T.J. Watt and Cam Hayward. You know what I mean?
I wonder what. I don't even think this guy should have a job, but Terrell Austin, he shouldn't have a job.
But I wish we got rid of him and
kept
Brian Flores.
Yeah. I want. It's gonna be interesting to see what we do on defense this year, especially with those cornerbacks.
Wilson's about to go crazy this year.
Yeah, you know what? I wonder if we'll see a lot more cornerback blitzes like when we had Mike Hilton.
From Ramsey. You say his flag on that preseason game was hungry. People are like, oh, what the hell is he doing? It's
that's why I'm like
start cutting heads off. You know what I mean?
So I'm like, keep watching.
Set the tone. I think this roster can be with what you think you can get out of Rodgers. I think this can be a Super Bowl roster. I think a sneaky contributor. Preseason wasn't too much of a gauge, but I think Caleb Johnson. He's gonna come on. Oh, yeah. He's gonna come on hard at the end of the season. He's gonna come on hard at the end of the season. Warren had that fumble in preseason, so he might be teetering around. Ball security is number 1.
All right. Oh man.
What, am I stealing all your hot takes?
No, everything. Well, not everything, but a few things tie into it.
Hot takes. Amir's had his spoiled a little bit. We'll let the spoilers evaporate from your brain as we get into mine real quick. Here's my hot take. Nothing really to do with the Steelers, maybe Steelers from the past. I think George Pickens is slowly going to fall off a cliff. Not as fast as Deontay Johnson, but you see these guys with character issues not be able to stay on the field and or with the team. Deontay Johnson the last 2 years, what's he had, like 4 or 5 teams?
I think so.
Just cut from the Browns.
Which
Head
is
case.
something.
George Pickens, maybe he will, produce this year. After this Micah Parsons trade, I think the Cowboys are a little bit in the hole
Oh,
with
100%.
Roster quality. So, in my opinion, team success and partially personal success is based off, contributes to George Pickens behaving. And if, things start to fall apart, doesn't get the ball, the team loses.
It's going to be another Pittsburgh all over again, but in Dallas.
Mm-hmm. And who's going to want to pay for that? You know what I mean?
Nobody.
A crapper team.
Yeah.
He gets to the crapper team,
He's going to be a
he's
Panther
going
in
to
the
be even more
future.
pain in the arse.
Future Panther.
He
But,
might actually be good there.
Actually,
I kind of feel decent about the Panthers.
Me too.
But go ahead.
Well, okay, before I get into my hot take, I think we did, it's not a huge trade, but Thielen got traded.
Mm-hmm.
So, from the Panthers. So it's looking like Tet might be a number 1 down there already.
Tet, you got like Xavier Leggett.
I love that
I
guy.
don't know who else, but Xavier Leggett. You got didn't they draft a tight end?
I think they did.
Tavian Sanders. But I think he was
They'll
from
be
the previous
interesting.
year.
They'll be interesting. But anyways, getting into my hot take, I think the success of this team this year is going to come at the hands of 3 groups: our running back group, the offensive line, and Aaron Rodgers. And the reason why I say that
You
is
got the defense in the bag already.
I'm not
You ain't
worried
about
I'm
that.
not, unless they all get hurt at the same time. But
Mm-hmm.
the reason why I said that is, I think it's like a domino effect. If the offensive line performs good,
Everything
Rodgers
else
has
gonna
his
fall
time.
in place.
Everything will fall in place. So if those 5 men can hold their stuff together on the line, I think this team will be fine and dandy. I saw Big Ben say this the other day. You said it earlier, and that's kind of why I was kind of getting into it, because the Steelers I don't think they've had an elite offensive line since, DeCastro and Pouncey were still there. Mike Munchak as coach. Big Ben had himself a heck of an offensive line in 2016, 2017, 18 during that time.
That like 5,000 pass yard season.
500 yards in a game.
Mm-hmm.
I think if they give Aaron Rodgers an ounce of whatever they had back then, just as a unit, I think they'll be fine and dandy this year.
I saw some of these gaping holes that Caleb Johnson was able to shimmy his way through.
Give him some space and let him work. Something Najee didn't do.
Najee wasn't a downhill guy, even though he was giant. Caleb Johnson, he sees a hole, gone. Quick feet, light feet, big dude. I like to see him blow somebody up. I kind of don't like how horizontal he gets with his runs towards the end. I kind of want him to stay downhill. But, he can work on that.
He can, and
He's
you
a
know
rookie. He's 21. He's a young dude.
I think that Caleb Johnson may have found himself a team that he fits with.
That's why they drafted
But
him.
we got to figure out if he actually fits with the system.
You could tell coming out of college, I ran an outside zone run scheme. That's what Arthur Smith runs.
Yeah.
Why you think Najee Harris couldn't read diddly?
Because he got his
He
eye
can't
shot
read
out
it.
with a firework.
He needs that
No,
happened.
I'm not gonna
He's
lie.
probably even worse
Dude.
at reading holes now.
Dude, that was a freak accident. I'm not even gonna lie with you, dude. It's like I'm like,
Pray for Najee, Hopefully his eyes
what are the
come back.
chances?
Yeah.
But
Najee's built for more of a, hey, this is your hole, rather than this may open up or maybe this may open up. We'll see what kind of work he gets over there at the Chargers. I don't think he's going to make his incentive money because of Maureen Hampton. Definitely because I don't even think Najee's practiced at this point.
Yeah,
There were
he's still
rumors that
hurt.
he lost his eye. I don't think that's true, but
if Jason Pierre-Paul hasn't taught y'all to stay away from fireworks, then you guys must have not taken that as a lesson.
yeah, fireworks are bad news. It's literally just like a little bomb that you're allowed to buy.
That's what it
Literally.
is. Which is
With sparks.
that's a whole nother conversation. But I don't know. I'm not in the ATF where I don't do any of that crap.
Yeah.
So
One thing I forgot to mention, we cut Cameron Johnston.
which was Corliss Waitman won the
won the battle.
The kicker battle.
I think I'm going to borrow one of my dad's points. I think what it also may have came down to is who Chris Boswell likes better as a holder. Chris Boswell had a record-setting year last year. I think that might have been it. I kind of like that take.
And I can see I can see why that's from Boswell. I mean, Waitman. Johnston was hurt for most of the year anyway.
Boswell was the best kicker in the league last year.
That's
and Waitman,
true.
I think him and Johnston are about pretty similar with punting game. So if it comes down to who's cheaper and who's Boswell prefer holding the balls, I guess it was Corliss Waitman.
Hey, I don't hate it. He wasn't bad.
No.
Better than Presley Harvin. Ooh.
Yeah, Presley was pretty rough.
He was terrible.
I don't know why we kept him on for so long because I don't even remember him ever having a super good punt.
I think there was probably one time, it's probably like a preseason game.
Probably. I think it was just because he was cheap because he was a 7th round pick.
That is true, but he showed why he was a 7th round pick.
But that is going to wrap up our return episode. You will find this episode on YouTube and Spotify. Be out Friday morning. We are also going to be getting into some video stuff. This one's not video, but we're going to figure it out. We'll see how it goes. That's it for this episode. We will see you next week.
See you next week.